Recently, I've had to confront and ask myself very important questions about my ability to change, or my ability or willingness to effect the changes that I want in my life. And these questions were, of course, inspired or asked of myself by my mentors and coaches at the beginning of this year, as we normally do, and start off our year with the beginning of the year with what you call them, intentions for the year, or goals, resolutions, or whatever you want to call it. So I sat down with my coaches, and they asked me these questions. And the biggest question was, are you willing to change? And of course, my first and immediate response is, of course I'm willing to change. Of course I have the desire to change. You see, there's one thing that I learned about the word willingness, and you can also look it up in the English dictionary, okay? Willingness does not only mean possessing the desire to achieve something, or the desire to possess something, or the desire to, gain something. Willingness also involves taking action. You see, willingness means doing whatever it takes to achieve the desired results. It also incorporates action. You cannot just will something or desire something to be without taking the necessary action to achieve that thing. Willingness requires letting go of our old habits and embracing new ones. Letting go of the old habits and patterns that keep us stuck in the same ways of being, in the same existence, and embracing new ones. And sometimes that, as hard as it can be, it requires us to let go, to simply and slowly let go of the things that keep us in the same energy, in the same reality that we want to change in our life. Have you ever thought to yourself and asked yourself why you have been unable to make certain changes in your life? Like why your New Year's resolutions, your intentions are always the same year in, year out, and you achieve very little of the things that you set out for yourself. I know that this is not the case for all of us, and there are some people who just go at their goals and crush their goals, but most of us humans, we have the tendency to repeat the same cycles. You want to get healthy, you start off, and then the next thing you know, you have sidetracked, and you are off doing something that is the exact opposite of what you wanted to achieve. And one of the important things that I want to share with you is what my mentors shared with me, and I have somehow always known this. And as bizarre as this may sound, one of the things that they said to me is that we as human beings are somehow have this strange addiction to suffering. We are addicted to suffering, and we are addicted to staying the same. So I learned that the real reason why some of us keep setting the same, goals, the same New Year's resolutions, the same intentions year in and year out, and we, it's the end of the year and we haven't seen or effected the changes that we want, is there is a bizarre part of us, as strange as this may sound. Human beings are addicted to suffering. We are addicted to staying the same. We are addicted to doing things the same way as we have always done them, because it is comfortable. And there's a strange payoff that we get for staying the same. And I know that this is something that you will not, that is very difficult to believe, because it is happening at a subconscious level. At a conscious level, you tell yourself that you want to change. You tell yourself that this is what you want to achieve. You tell yourself that this is the lifestyle that you want to live, or this is whatever that you want to achieve in your life. But there's a subconscious version of you that's pulling you down, and that wants you to stay the same because it is comfortable. There's an addiction to staying miserable. There's an addiction to staying the same because that's what we know, and that's what we have known for as long as we have existed. The thing that I've learned is that one of the most important things to consider when we want to effect changes in our lives is the issue of fear. You may not be aware of this because, like I said, these are things that happen at a subconscious level, that you are not aware that the reason why you cannot effect changes in your life because there is this underlying fear. Let's say maybe that you want to, I don't know, stop drinking so much, or you want to let's take the issue of addiction, alcohol addiction or drug addiction. For instance, let's say you set the intention to stop drinking for this year. But there's a fear that if you stopped drinking and if you embrace more healthier options in your life, you might lose friends. There's a fear that you might lose a circle of friends around you or your family. It's because when you think about it, if you're going to change who you are now, it may require you to get into a different circle of friends, or maybe it may require that you leave certain people behind, or maybe you are afraid of the judgment and criticism of other people because, as human beings, we are social beings. We want to feel comfortable in our circles. We want to be embraced and loved and accepted by our friends and our families and our colleagues. So sometimes we fear changing because we do not want to ruffle the feathers, because you do not want to be that black sheep of the family who goes off and does something that is different from what other family members or what your friends have been doing. So one thing that I realized about change is that change can be very difficult because it requires us to make very difficult choices or very difficult decisions in our lives. Sometimes you may, for instance, need to relocate, or you may need to move away, or you may need to change your career, or the things that you need to change in your life sometimes requires for you to face very difficult choices. You may have to come to crossroads in your lives where you decide whether to drop something, or whether to leave your relationship, or whether to leave your job, or whether to. So that's how growth is at the end of the day. You cannot grow without asking yourself these questions, without having to make very difficult choices or very difficult decisions in your life. So that's what willingness to change means. It means that you have sat down with yourself, you have assessed all your options, and you realize that for me to move in this direction, or for me to achieve this goal, I may have to do this and this and the other, and these steps may be the most difficult things that you have ever done in your life, but you still have the willingness to take those actions. You still have the willingness to do whatever it takes to move into the direction of your dream. So I realized that at some point in our lives, there's a time when we would have to be really, really honest. You have to become really, really honest about what you say you want in your life, because you cannot say that you want this and then do the exact opposite of the thing that you say you want. There's a quote that I like, I think by Albert Einstein, that says that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing it, I'm not sure. But it says that you cannot do the same things that you have always done. You cannot be in the same situations that you have been, and you cannot do the same things that you have done over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So this is what really is the crux of the issue of willingness. This is one thing that I want to leave with you, is that at some point in your life, you're going to have to make serious considerations about the things that you say you want in your life. And like I said, desire alone, having the mental and emotional desire to achieve something alone is not enough. At some point, we would have to take action. And sometimes the action that we need to take can be very difficult. It will require some level of bravery. It will require some level of courage from ourselves. And that's when you really get into the mainstream of personal growth, because you cannot grow until you have to make these difficult decisions in your life. And as and when you come to a point where you evaluate yourself and you evaluate your goals and you evaluate whether it's your your love and relationships, whether it's about your money and situations, whether it's about your career, whether it's about your health and wellness, whether it's about your sense of purpose or whatever it may be. As and when you come to evaluate these things, you are going to have to face these serious questions. So if at some point you come at crossroads in your life and you realize and you evaluate yourself and you realize that you want to effect these changes in your life, but you are unwilling, you are not willing to take the required steps to make the changes. You know exactly the pathway to achieve your goals. You know what it will take for you to change your relationship, or you know what it will take for you to change your career, or you know what it will take for you to change your lifestyle, or whatever it may be, and you are evaluating it and you realize that you are unwilling, you are not willing to take the steps. That is also okay. You can accept your unwillingness to change. And the thing that comes with acceptance is that when you accept your unwillingness to change, you also have to accept the results and the consequences that come with that. Let's say maybe you are in an unhappy relationship and you know that for you to change this relationship, you are going to have to leave or whatever. Or maybe you may have to have very difficult conversations with your partner or whatever it takes, and you are unwilling to do that. Accept that you are unwilling to do it. And acceptance, there's a value in accepting that we are at this point in our lives unwilling to do the things that are required for us to do to effect the changes that we want. Acceptance releases us from the resistance that we feel inside. If you accept that this is your situation at this point in time, you also have to accept the consequences that come with it. You have to accept the results that come with it, because then if you can bring yourself to a situation where you accept that, you will not complain. With all that is said, my friends, let me conclude this video by saying that when you want to effect changes in your life, the best thing is not to want to do everything all at the same time, like not want to change different things, many things all at the same time. What I've learned over the years and what my mentors have taught me is to start with your biggest pain points, the thing that is really pressing you right now in your life, the thing that causes you the most pain, whether it's your job, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your money situation or your business, whatever it may be, the thing that is right now the most pressing, that causes you the most pain, that causes you the most frustration in your life, that's where you can begin. Because it's not always that all aspects of our lives are bad all at the same time. Sometimes some aspects of our lives are okay, and some aspects of our lives really need overhauling. So that's where I think I can advise that you can start there, as I was advised by my own mentors to start where you feel the most pain. Okay, I'll see you soon.